This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. We hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. Today is Tuesday, February 14th. Well, Comstock Park residents have had enough and they aren't going to take it anymore. They pay homeowner association fees and they would like to utilize their amenities. They say that one person is stopping them and they would like board meetings, and they say that they're being held with some of the board members and without other board members attending or their knowledge. The bylaws, they say, are being broken, and a group is organized to stop what they say are violations. News 25 was on scene yesterday to speak to some of the residents and also the president of the HOA, David Snook.
A lot of the homeowners are really upset. We received a letter giving information about junking the HOA or getting rid of the HOA and the pros and cons of that, and a lot of people felt that that letter was misleading. It had a lot of misinformation, and it was directed that it came from the entire board because it was not signed individually, and it said from the board. And as a member of the board, the secretary, I knew nothing of the letter. I had no part in the decision of that letter-making process, nor in the mailing of it out. So I feel that there's a lot of violations on just that point alone. I am aware of who wrote it and submitted it. I did verify via invoices with the printer and what have you of who that was sent out by, and it was not voted on by the board. The president of our HOA, that is Dave Snook. I'm not sure why he didn't choose to participate in our little gathering that we had. We put up notices around the park to have just a discussion with the homeowners and get opinions and views, and he was made aware of it as well, just like everybody else, and he chose to sit in the office during the entire meeting. I can't speak on why he chose to do that. If me personally, I would have wanted to have been out there and been a part of that discussion, especially if most of it was about.
I'm a homeowner here at Comstock Park here in Pahrump, and I've lived here since 2016. The issues we have here with Dave Snook, a volunteer position chairman of the board, of the HOA board. He seems to do whatever he wants to do as he sees fit, regardless of the rules, bylaws, or the laws. He refuses to let us use our amenities here. Library, the game room, the pool, even during the summer. He gives every excuse possible for us not to use a pool in the summer. One reason it was the water wasn't warm enough, or there's clouds in the sky because we might have lightning. He refuses to let anybody that's on the board along with him in the office. He's kicked people off the board because they talk to me because I give him ruckus about what he's doing. The other day we are out here protesting and we had the police here. He didn't want to come out for the police. He ignored the police. He's abusive and verbal towards women. Just right now, I knocked on the door and just waved to him and he told me to F off, you know. He's just very disrespectful and he doesn't want to do anything for anybody except for what he wants to do, how he sees fit, his rules, Dave's rules, pretty much.
Come on, baby.
Hi, with KPVM TV, News 25. So we're here recording some of the HOA meeting that's going on. Do you want to do an interview on camera? Deanna's coming down. She's going to interview the lady in there. But you're welcome to go on camera and tell your side of the story. Huh? Do you have a business card or anything?
That idiot that's doing this is hiding
All of our communal areas, such as the pool, we have a game room with a pool table and a shuffleboard. We also have a big conference room area with a library, books for kids to read, and based on the way it's run now is that nobody's allowed access to that area unless the board member, the president, is present. And no keys are to be given for any community area, even though in our bylaws it states that we are to have pool keys issued to us. Initially, I know it was worked out as a COVID restriction, but those restrictions have been lifted for quite some time, and the homeowners have even voted at a meeting for the implementation of keys. I have gone about the appropriate processes to get bids from companies to implement that, and was met with a firm no, that will not be happening. We will not be doing that. Right now, we have a couple options. I am in touch with the Ombudsman's office and trying to go about the appropriate steps to submit an affidavit so that they can, or give Dave the chance to rectify any of his violations. And if he chooses not to at that point, then the Ombudsman's office will step in and have an investigator come in to investigate the goings on and the happenings of the HOA. Another option we're going is I sent around a petition to be signed. If we get 10% of the homeowners to sign it, we can call an emergency meeting, and at that time a motion can be made to have a board member step down.
And of course, we'll keep you posted on any further developments in that story. You saw our own David Preston attempting to talk to David Snook in that video. I also attempted to talk to the HOA president, Snook, off camera. He declined to comment on that situation. News 25 will return after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, over the weekend was the Nye County Republican Women's Lincoln Day dinner at the Plum Nugget. Some refreshing comments made by Congressional District 2 Congressman Mark Amade. He spoke a little bit about the national media as opposed to local media to the crowd. He also spoke to us personally, and a little bit about the rumors about Republicans taking away your Social Security. We're going to listen to Mark Amade.
It is my experience that most of the commentary coming in the national media and over national-based internet sources is commentary. You know, the national media, and I mean, I'm not saying anybody's evil, but understand what their mission is these days. Everybody's got to make money to pay the bills and do all that stuff. There's nothing evil about that. But to try to say, because I saw it on whatever your national news outlet, or I saw it on whatever your favorite blog is, to then make the leap that therefore it's true is I think not accurate with the way that we get our information, especially on politics, from the national level. The local folks are different because they're still doing the sort of stuff that you are, in terms of, well, go talk to her or him and see what's going on and provide the facts and let your viewers decide for themselves. And there isn't much of that going on nationally, regardless of whether you consider yourself red team or blue team. If you started out with, I am a commentator, fine. Because commentators, you get a commentator's opinion. But to try to wrap yourself in truth and justice of journalism is getting to be a harder and harder thing to find people doing. And part of it is because, I assume, maybe they think that doesn't sell. Journalism, as it used to be known, not that it was perfect then, but even Dan Rather looks like a fairly moderate guy these days, you know? So, be discerning consumers of information. Latest example. I know that this is a pretty discreet crowd and nobody will repeat anything that was said from this stage tonight, and I appreciate that. And that's just a prop there. Oh my God, the Republicans are coming for your Social Security and your Medicare. God, I hope nobody finds out. Yeah, it's a lie, but, you know, there you go. They're going to take away your Social Security and Medicare. Nobody's going to do that. But I'll tell you where there is going to be a discussion. There is going to be a discussion that, hey, if you're 10 years away from eligibility, maybe the criteria are different for you. That's the bad news. The good news is there'll still be a program left for you, and you got a decade to plan and prepare for whatever the new stuff is. But until there's political courage enough to go, we can't keep doing it the way we have. And this is, so anyhow, I mean, that's the reality that I think policymakers need to go. You can't just sit there and look at everything and go, we're not touching your stuff. It's like, you may not be touching somebody who's 55 and older, but guess what? If it's somebody 45, things are going to be different if you still want a program.
A little bit of technical error there. Going with Congressman Amade's comments there, what do you want to add? Got a little biased. We are local news. All right, well, police say that casino security assisted in capturing a suspect in alleged vehicle theft.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office are reporting that they have arrested an individual by the name of Philip Russell. On February 9th of this year, deputies responded to the Pahrump Nugget in reference to a stolen vehicle. Upon arrival, deputies observed a motorcycle bearing Nevada license plates, which the motorcycle returned as stolen out of the agency. The deputy then contacted the Nugget security personnel, who stated their surveillance still had a visual of the suspect. Security personnel then identified the suspect as a male wearing a black sweatshirt who was walking in the desert a short distance away. The deputy then contacted the male, who was identified as Philip Russell. Upon questioning Philip as to where he got the motorcycle he parked at the Nugget, Philip stated that he got the motorcycle in the homeless camp. According to the report, when the deputy asked Philip how the motorcycle got to the homeless camp, Philip stated his friend Rick had taken the bike from the Nugget parking lot. Upon review of the security footage, Philip allegedly can be seen riding the motorcycle into the Pahrump Nugget parking lot in the early evening. Philip then walks into the desert where the deputy caught up with him. The deputy then placed Philip into custody. Upon a search incident to arrest of Philip's person, deputies located a white in color crystalline substance that deputies recognized through training and experience to be methamphetamine. According to the report, the substance later tested as methamphetamine with a weight of 8 grams. Philip was then transported to the Nye County Detention Center without further incident. Philip Russell was charged with possession of Scheduled 1 and 2 controlled substance and possession of a stolen vehicle.
And a suspect is arrested following damage to a vehicle at a local auto dealership. An alert employee from a local car dealership has helped capture a suspect for the Nye County Sheriff's Office. According to the declaration of arrest, Kyle Chesney has been arrested for 1 count of injuring or tampering with a motor vehicle. According to the report from the Nye County Sheriff's Office, Kyle Chesney was arrested on February 13th for an incident that occurred on January 9th of this year. Deputies say that they were dispatched to Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza on Charleston Park here in Pahrump in reference to a property damage case. The reporting party stated that a Dodge Charger sustained $893 worth of damage from an unknown suspect who was captured on the parking lot surveillance camera footage. On February 13th, an employee with Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza witnessed the suspect, who stated that he saw him staying at the Best Western RV Park. Police made contact with that individual, who was identified as Kyle Chesney. Chesney confirmed that he was the one in their surveillance footage throwing a rock, then walking through the parking lot of the Auto Plaza to retrieve the rock that he threw. Police say that Chesney is in violation of injuring property, willfully and maliciously throwing that rock at the front windshield of the 2021 Dodge Charger, breaking the front windshield and denting the roof of that vehicle. Chesney was then arrested and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. All right, after this break, we're going to talk about love at first sight, lust at first sight. Is it a real thing? When we return.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, Valentine's Day has finally arrived, and you may hear some people say they knew they were in love at first sight. But is it actually possible?
Over 60% of individuals indicate that they have felt love at first sight at one point in their life. However, infatuation and attraction may be a more accurate term to describe this phenomenon.
Dr. Susan Albers is a psychologist for Cleveland Clinic. She says, according to the triangle theory of love, there are 3 components to true love: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Love at first sight is only one aspect of the triangle, which is passion. Dr. Albers says when someone says they fell in love at first sight, it could also be a case of selective memory bias, meaning they rewrote their love story to match their expectation of how they believe people fall in love. That's not to say the feelings they had when they first met aren't necessarily real. Dr. Albers says certain chemicals are released when you are attracted to someone.
Once we become aware of that attraction, all of a sudden our bodies become flooded with dopamine, that pleasure neurotransmitter, and oxytocin, the chemical that makes us feel close and bonded to other people. So although we may not have a genuine connection with someone, the chemicals in our body are sending us signals that we feel close to someone.
Well, Dr. Albers says if you think you're experiencing love at first sight, it's important to pause and make sure it's going to be a lasting connection. She recommends thinking about whether you have similar values and hobbies. Those types of things are important in building a strong foundation.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, we got this shot up there on Highway 160, up there at Pinion Drive in Mountain Springs. It was about an hour ago. You can see that there is snow on the ground up there, but of course the roadway is open, and of course we'll keep you posted if there is any other chance of snow up there.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app, the app you need on your phone in 2023. Today, the theme of the weather map is chill. Look at how chill we are. My gosh, Fernley, 34 degrees, 36 up in Fallon, 30 in Carson City, but that isn't even the coolest. That would be Tonopah. You are most chill at 29. Congratulations. 31 in Goldfield. Beatty saw 44. Amargosa had the right spirit at 49. Vegas, 51 degrees, very precocious on a chilly day. And Death Valley at 62. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. We got 43 degrees. Look at us. 52 degrees was our high today, and that makes us the Hot Spot Award winner. Congratulations. Tempered somewhat by the wind at 23 miles per hour out of the north as the sun rose this morning at 6:32. I said, hot dog, a whole new day. And right now I'm just saying, I guess it's done. 5:24 p.m. The sun is setting like right now. Low night, about 29 degrees. Sub-freezing, that's not so great. Winds calming down at 10 miles per hour. We like that. As we head on into the week, though, what do we like? Oh, no, huge piles of wind and gust coming at us, probably starting later this evening, Wednesday. They're looking for 20 mile per hour average gusts. That means we're going to have some 30s and 40s also, folks. That'll blow the clouds away for tomorrow. The clouds do return Thursday, Friday. Winds do calm down. Temperatures all the way up to 64 degrees by Sunday. That's not too bad. And we maintain that for the rest of the week, but under sunny skies. Things to look forward to. All right, make your plans. Back to the desk. Here's Jeanette and Deanna.
You know, I know you guys have seen Mikey Ruhan. He did a little bit of sports, and we've had him in a couple segments. And when he wanted to do a little something special for his love on Valentine's Day, Zinnia, we said, hey, you should do that, because he's also a musician. And so instead of credits today, we decided that Mikey should do a little special gift for Zinnia, who is the love of his life. So we'll see you tomorrow, and we hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And we're going to end with this wonderful Valentine's Day song from Mikey to Zinnia.
What did I do to deserve this? The distribution of your joy and happiness. I really can't thank you enough for all your unconditional love. of you brings me happy tears. Always inspired through life and song. I don't know what